Welcome to Dying Out Loud. This is season 2. And if season 1 was about saying goodbye, this season is all about how we keep living anyway. This podcast exists because none of us get out of this world clean. We love, we lose, we make impossible choices, but still we show up. This season is going to be a lot more honest, a lot more vulnerable, and if I'm doing this right, a little harder to listen to. Because the truth is usually hard. Today's episode is different. Today's episode is the most personal. Today, I'm sitting across from the man who knows me the best, my husband, Anthony. And before we go any further, I want you to know something. This episode is going to break your heart open. And that is intentional. Before we begin, I want to say this clearly. This episode is different. If you've been listening to Dying Out Loud, this podcast has always been about love, gratitude, and saying the things we don't say often enough. Today's episode is the most personal version of that intention. Towards the end of the podcast, you're going to hear a letter. It's not advice, and it's not a lesson. It's simply love, spoken out loud. I wrote this letter to my husband during a chemo treatment. He's the man I met at the very beginning of the pandemic, and the man who saved my life in ways I'm still discovering. He's the man who became my home in a world that suddenly felt uncertain. This is a letter about finding your one true love and about the complicated beauty of finding them later than you hoped. If you're listening and you love someone deeply, I hope this reminds you to tell them. And if you're listening and you've lost someone, I hope this reminds you that love never disappears. And if you're listening and you're still searching, I hope this reminds you that when love does arrive, it's always worth it. This episode is a love letter to my husband. Oh, those tears started way too early, babe. Welcome. Welcome to the
Thank you.
podcast.
Super excited.
Anthony's been behind the scenes since the beginning of this podcast. This podcast actually was probably his idea back in June or July of last year, when this was nothing more than a wild thought that we had sitting on the couch together one evening. And I'm so excited to be able to kickstart season 2 with this conversation. We've been doing a lot since last August when this podcast first hit the airwaves. We've definitely appreciated all of the messages and the feedback and the love and the shares. And please continue doing that. In today's climate, we need messages of love more than ever before. I want to share a little update. And Anthony, definitely feel free to weigh in because I know you have feelings about this as well. But I wanted to give you all an update about my health journey. Over the course of the last 3.5 years, I've had multiple different regimens of chemo. We've tried a lot of things. I've had radiation treatments. I've had surgery, and I'm tired. I just can't do the treatments anymore. And so, as 2025 wrapped up, our family was having discussions that none of us really wanted to have. But I say with confidence that I feel like I've made the right decision for me and where my journey is headed. And I've decided to terminate my chemotherapy treatments. That doesn't mean if there becomes a solution to my cancer that I won't go back and try something later. But I'm exhausted and I need a break. And not just a 30-day break. I want to fully embrace the person I'm becoming and the Kris that everyone once knew. And I want that person back for as long as I can get it back. And the only way to do that is to not subject myself to chemo. The treatments haven't been successful. My counts are off the charts and they continue to climb. And the cancer is just growing and spreading a little bit faster than the meds can handle. I want you to know that I did not make this decision lightly. I shared this choice with my family. We talked about it first. And if we brought the whole family back onto the podcast, probably 75% would tell you that they don't support the decision, but they support me. And for now, I think that's good enough. I'm looking forward to being more present every day, to have more energy so that I can spend time loving on the people that love on me. So with that said, this season is about hope, and it's about living fully inside of your reality, not avoiding it. Before we continue, I just want to give Anthony a chance to weigh in on what it's like to be on the other side of the coin, to be the spouse that is helping make the decision, and ultimately the one who has decided that even if you don't love the decision, you love me enough to support me through it.
Oh, gosh. The decision is that we and you have decided to not let cancer win. We are not going to sit back and let it deteriorate who you are. As you said, you want to get back to who you are. So that's what this decision is. This decision is to give you back your life, however long or short that is, but to give it to where your kids and your grandkids and your family and your friends can see you at the height of you and not see you in a bed in a hospital withering away. So this is the best decision for us, and it's not the best decision for everybody, and everybody has their own cancer journeys, but this is the best decision for us and our journey that we are in to make sure that we have the best life together with as much time that's left.
And on that note, we just came back from a spectacular vacation. Because I'm choosing life over treatment, we are going to spend our time making beautiful memories, and that includes getting to beautiful places. Let's talk a little bit about vacation. Maybe that'll dry up the tears for a minute and we can just laugh and remember. What's the moment from the trip that you keep replaying in your head?
For starters, I'm a cruise person now. You knew when you met me, I never in my wildest days ever said I would be on a cruise. It was just something not for me, and it still may be not for me when you are in the crowd of 6,000 in with the general public. But for us, doing that premier yacht club experience on MSC, just doing nothing being in the Caribbean sun, being in the Caribbean water, and just doing nothing, being completely and utterly lazy, not actually having a care in the world, not, and for me, with my ADHD autistic brain, not having anything going on, not thinking, just relaxing and being present in the moment. Not us looking at the watch to take the dogs out, or looking at the watch to say, oh, it's time for us to do this, or we have to go bed because we have work, or things like this. Just being able to fully unwind and disconnect from reality. And you're doing it in a magical place, like a luxurious place on some of these amazing ships on their private islands. And they really know how to cater to you, as well as know how to leave all the worries behind.
So true. It's as I've started sharing with people about vacation, just as I'm reconnecting post vacation with them, it's been so interesting. The thing that actually I keep replaying is just the moments where we were sitting cross legged on our lounge chairs, looking at each other and talking about life and the podcast and how excited we were for season 2 and where will we take the podcast this year and what will we grow it into, and just really enjoying like the excitement of being away again. Walking dogs 4 times a day, that's not any kind of punishment by any means, but when you walk those dogs 4 times a day every day, sometimes it's nice to be on a ship in the middle of the ocean with a butler at your side who will grab you anything you need and take care of all your needs. And it truly, just the simplest moments. I think the first cruise we went on, like when I replay that, scenes of all the excitement and all of the things that we rushed to do, like that's what fills my mind. But this was a different kind of cruise. We were in a different headspace, and really just those quiet moments where you and I were talking with each other, those are the things, the scenes, the conversations, those are the things that replay in my head.
Especially
I'm
when, like you said, yeah, the first one, we were wanting to do everything, wanting to see everything, wanting to do every bits and pieces, making sure we weren't missing anything. And this trip, we literally went in, no agenda, nothing. We didn't care about anything that happened. We just wanted to go in and just take it as it is. And I think that really also allowed us to experience something on a different level.
I definitely agree. When you think about that trip, where did you see me most at peace while we were on vacation?
Anywhere that you were in the sun, anywhere when you were with me, not to sound that stupid or
That doesn't sound at
smoochy,
all.
but
That's
when we were
that
us being
feels like
together.
that's what it feels like when you find your home. And I definitely agree. There's a picture that you took of me, and I wasn't asleep, but I was laying in the sun on my stomach, face down. And I think that picture, there are 2 pictures actually that you took that stand out to me as like the the overarching feeling that the trip left me with. One is a picture of me in that camouflage Midwest Princess hat that we got at the Chapel Roan concert. And I have this big, giant grin. And it's really the first picture that I've ever seen of me with a full on smile that I've actually loved the smile. And I've shared that picture with everyone at work who I've shared pictures with because it does such a great job. Like that happiness, it's been a minute since I've just felt so at peace and happy and just full of love, and love even beyond you. Like I could feel love radiating just from everywhere. And it just was the highlight, or the icing on the cake, rather, of the trip. The other one is a picture where I'm face down with my eyes closed, just laying in sun and not a care in the world. And I think you can even feel that as you look at the photo as well. And I think both of those pictures are pictures that I'm going to print out and put in a place that I frequently look at because I want to come back to those moments like as much as possible. If you thought about this trip and you think about what it did for both of us, What do you think this trip gave us that nothing else could?
Time together and alone without current events, without. There are moments of this trip that your cancer wasn't on my mind, and it was just us living in the moment. So that was really nice, is being on vacation and not having, just being away in fantasy land and not thinking about reality, not thinking about the inevitable. However, this trip also did exactly that. When we came home, we were in a different place and we were ready to face certain things that we weren't ready to face and talk through certain things. Whereas the trip was a great escape from what was going on, it was also a great help of us opening up and being able to discuss next steps and what we really want to accomplish with the time that we have left.
I wrote myself a reminder that it's okay to laugh here because it should definitely
Yes.
feel like a happy thing, but I'm not really able to find any laughter at this moment. Well, there was some right there. Um, I'm gonna shift and I'm gonna make you think a lot further back than 2 weeks ago. I want you to think about the first moment that we met in person. And I would love to hear you just share what you remember from that moment.
There's two. The first time I saw you online, and then the first time I saw you in person. First time I saw you online was swiping on Tinder. And I just decided one day, because I felt like I was cycling through everybody. So I was like, let me increase my radius like 3 more miles or something. And within 5 swipes, you popped up. And you know what photo it was, like your business headshot in
Well,
your
just
blue.
so that our listeners don't know, please tell them about the photo so they don't think it was like some picture of me scantily clad.
Don't worry, they will be in the podcast pulling up as B-roll. It was you in your light blue plaid suit with your great hair and just like your, what I say, your camera fake smile of how you laugh when you take a picture. It was just that, and it was just, I was starstruck. You took my breath away. Then, after all of us talking after a while and during COVID, and then we decided to meet, I was waiting in your alleyway for you to come out and get me into your entrance. And I saw you walking through the lobby. And even though this was during COVID and you weren't exactly as your picture, because as I like to say, you were Shaggy Doo, from Scooby Doo, you were Shaggy. You definitely had that Shaggy 70s hairstyle with your mustache and everything, but you just had an aura to you. And I was just like, wow, I actually get to meet this person. He really seems like something special. And the rest is history. It was very hard for us, even in the beginning, to be away from each other. We just enjoyed our company. We enjoyed the time we had together. And within a couple of months, you're like, just move in. And here we are, 5 years later. The best time of my
6.
life. 6, yes, but no, 5-ish. Not fully 6 yet.
In June, it will be 6 years. So
Okay,
almost
it's
6 years.
January.
All right. I'm just being optimistic. June's fast approaching.
Yes.
When you think about those early moments, before you actually heard me say anything out loud, what did you sense about my life? We obviously shared a ton with each other in the 3 or 4 months leading up to the first time that we met in person, again, because of COVID and being locked down. What did you sense about my life before I said anything out loud?
There was just something to you. Your life was like a big mystery, but not in a way of being a secret. It was just a mystery for me to peel back and find out on my own. It's not like you were hiding it. It was just like, oh my God, everything I found out about you, it just kept like hitting a notch. Like, wow, like world traveler, like you lived in Amsterdam for a while, like just doing all of these things, all these businesses that you've done, your career path. I'm just truly in awe of you. I am so proud of the person that you were when I met you, and I'm so proud of the person that you have become through this cancer. It's your second time around, and you didn't let it defeat you, and you're not letting it defeat you. You are what I strive to be. Like, you found your passion in work, you found your passion in everything. And I love seeing you go to work every day. I love when you get off work and you talk to me about your day, because you're always so enthused about it. So that I saw that from the moment. I saw just like how happy you were with life, how happy you were where you were at the time that we met in your career path. You did some amazing fucking things. Yes, you did. And you still are. I'm just so proud of you.
That means the world to me. Before I move on to my next couple of questions about the early days of our relationship, I want to do my listeners a favor and let them know what I thought about that first moment that we met. Keep in mind, it was the pandemic, and there was so much uncertainty about seeing other humans and what truly could lead to the spread of COVID. And I was in a new city all by myself, living right down in the center of it all, where on any non-pandemic day, the entire neighborhood outside my door would have been alive and full of people, but there was nothing. There was no one. Everyone was locked and sheltered inside, and Philly stayed that way for so long. I remember vividly the picture that I swiped right on Tinder. It lives etched in my brain. And the first time I saw that picture, I said, that is one hot fucking daddy, and I need to know who he is. And originally, I swiped right, I'm not gonna lie, just for that picture. But after we met and I discovered what a gentle soul you are and what an amazing heart and caring heart you have, it sealed the deal for me. And I think back to even when I told you to move into the apartment with me, I don't know that my intention was that you were moving in to be with me forever. But maybe we were just going to help each other get through the pandemic, and then we would have a lifetime friendship. But obviously things evolved, and I experienced probably the biggest loss of my life during the second year that we were together, when my dad passed away from cancer. I'd love to know how my dad's death kind of shaped the timing and maybe even the intensity of our connection.
Well, one, COVID did that as well, the intensity of it, and just us fast pacing certain things just to be protective and cautious of what was going on around the
Sure.
world. But I think when it came to your dad and seeing him at the end with his cancer journey, one, just seeing the love all your family had and coming together with strength, seeing the love that your dad had for each one of the members in his family, not just his kids, but for each member in the family. The connection that your dad has with Kennedy, or had with Kennedy, Jacob, Anthony. I watched Jacob turn from a young boy into a man in those short years. In the army was a lot of that, but that was because of your dad. So just seeing that was amazing. And then for us, it put things into perspective, because unfortunately, your dad was frail at the end. And those, unfortunately, are the lasting memories that we have of him. And we just want happy memories with you. We don't want necessarily the end moments of frail or everybody gathered around a hospital room. We would rather have that here in the house with our dogs. So for that, your dad's cancer journey showed me the love that you had, the love that you instilled in your children and your family. And it showed us what we wanted in your cancer journey when we got your second diagnosis.
We have packed so much into 5.5, almost 6 years. And I feel like I've asked you to do so many big things. I asked you to pack your bags and move from Philadelphia, the place that you called home your entire life, to come with me home to Kansas City.
I'll stop you
And
there
then,
because it doesn't matter. You're my world. So whatever question it was, I was on this journey with you, and we were doing it together, no matter what. So wherever we're moving, whatever we're doing, I'm on this path with you.
so when did this stop feeling like a risky move and start feeling like the right decision?
The moment you asked me to move in with you, within 2 or 3 months, I said, I love you first. I felt everything. I'm not afraid to share my feelings as we can see here. And my love for you is so strong. Right then and there, I knew everything was worth it. Even if it's a short time, it's worth it because this is my greatest love of all. I'm sorry.
When you came to Kansas City with me, you left your entire life behind. Jobs, friends, your entire family. What made it worth it?
You. You can find friends, but you can't find that one special person where you have that unspeakable bond and connection. You're what I've wanted my whole life. And I just wish I found you sooner.
Oh, okay. Let's go back. I think I unconsciously built this super sad, happy, super sad, kind of
Seriously,
happy.
no, you had me crying since 2 minutes in. Thank you.
All right. There came a time before my second year anniversary of my diagnosis where both of us who walked into this from day one, acknowledging that we had been married before, we had both said that we would never be married again, and we were both fine with that. And one day on the couch, in the most grandest proposal of all time, I turned to you and said, in the middle of an episode of Worst Cooks in America, why don't we just get married?
Nope, that's not what you
Tell me,
did.
oh, really? Then tell me, what did I do?
We were in Denver, and at the complex that we were staying at, it was before, I think it was around December or November of that year. We were in Denver, and at the complex we were staying at, we were on the amenity level, and we were getting hot chocolate or coffee or something. And that's where you said it. And you were like, what if we just got married? And I was like, done. Yes, sold. And then you said, let's wait till we get home, because we were waiting on a test result. And I said I didn't care. And 2 months later, after that test result came in, I was like, babe, let's talk about it again. I don't care. Let's do this for as long as we can. And a big part of it as well is, as we know, I'm still working on it, but a big part of it as well is to make sure that I have your last name on all of my stuff, to make sure that I carry you with me forever. Because I will carry you with me forever. You will always have every part of me. But it was in Denver, not at home.
But I think we were getting hot chocolate so we could go back and finish watching Worst Cooks in America. So I
Maybe
think
when
we're
we,
both right.
maybe when we came back home and then we rediscussed it over Worst Cooks in America. But the
That could be
initial
it.
but I know the initial conversation.
Okay. I think we're both right.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what our marriage has taught you.
Patience. Being somebody that is, and I'm not good at it, being somebody that is severely ADHD, autistic, a bunch of other things that we're slowly learning out. I have a very short fuse, short temper. I'm also not afraid to speak my mind, whether it's possibly going to hurt someone's feelings or not. It's
Oh,
if it's the
really?
if it's the truth, I'd rather just say it and get it out. The family I grew up with, we did not hold things in. We're Italian. We speak with our hands and we speak loudly and we say how we're feeling. With you, I've learned a little bit of patience. I've learned maybe think before I speak with some things. I'm in the Midwest now. Not everybody has my same viewpoint. So, certain things when it comes to that, just knowing when to bite your tongue or certain things like that. But realistically, the main thing that you have taught me and you have helped me with is really understanding the true meaning of love, the true meaning of being in love, not being in lust. And especially someone that's ADHD and autistic, you can have trouble when it comes to the feeling of lust and the feeling of love and being in love and are you in the moment or not, just because of whirlwind of feelings. I being in my previous marriage and things like that, you really showed me what love was. There are times when, I'm in my fit and I'm just rambling or talking and agitated or whatever, and you are the most cool, calm, and collected person ever. That is real different for me. I've never had that. Normally, when I'm in my state, that person is going toe to toe with me. And if I'm in my state, that's not great. And I know that takes a lot of patience from you. So I do appreciate that. And I do thank you for that. But you have really showed me love, not when it just comes to loving me, but the love that you give your kids and your grandkids and your mom and your brother and your nieces and nephews. You want nothing but the world for them. You want to make sure the world that they're living in is a world that they want to grow up in. You want to make sure that they're proud of you. As I said before, and I'll say again, in all of you, you have taught me so much. You don't know what you have done for me. Truly amazing.
I feel exactly the same way about you. I'm so proud of so many things that we have done together. We saved each other during the pandemic. We proved to each other what trust and respect and love mean to us. And you have overcome so many things. And you show up for me every day in a way that no other person has ever shown up for me. I tell people all the time, if I wouldn't have met you during the pandemic, I would 100% still be single. And I would be single going through this on my own. And I would have done it and I would have been fine. But you have turned what is probably the biggest tragedy of my life into an amazing adventure, from hiking to the top of a 14K in Colorado to places that we won't speak about on this podcast because children can listen. You've been by my side through it all. We've had fun every step of the way, and I could not imagine another person that I would rather wake up to every morning and see their face or go to bed with every night. And I thank you for not just showing up for me every day, but for being a thinking, functioning mind when my brain has been foggy from chemo or whenever I've been under the influence of morphine or oxy. To have someone that you trust that much and you know that they love you with as many fibers in their being as is humanly possible. It's a love that I have not experienced in my life from anyone. And I'm so glad that even if I got ripped off and I only got it for 6 or 7 years, that I did get the chance to feel what it's like to be loved by another person. And I thank you so much for making that my reality, even in this circumstance.
Easy when it's you. You make everything easy.
Okay, one more question. And then it's really going to get emotional, folks. This is just the icing on the cake here. We're getting ready to get into all the good stuff. Last question for you here, and then I'm going to let you listen a bit.
Great.
If somebody who's listening today is afraid to love deeply because they're afraid of losing someone or because they've already experienced loss, what would you tell them, Anthony?
Don't be afraid. I thought that too. It's easier just to be alone, all this other stuff. But for what I've experienced with you, I would rather whatever time I have than to not have had the time that we have had. The things that we have done, one, and only in the US realistically, the things that we have done these past 5, 6 years, I would have never imagined for me. Yes, did I like going hiking in the woods and stuff? Yes, I was a cross country runner growing up. I loved it. Did I ever think I would, for 8.5 hours, hike up a mountain 14,000 feet in the air where it went from 96 on the bottom to 20 degrees up top? When we started, thought I was going to die. We both did, but we trekked up. I don't know how we
5 minutes
did
in, I thought I was going to die.
it.
Oh,
That
Jesus. Whoa.
roadway that cars drive up, we were going to die. Not even the trail path yet. But I would not take any of that back. That was an amazing experience that I will ever hold forever. Then the next day, I jumped off a cliff 40 feet high in the air into freezing cold Colorado River water.
Because I took the video. I was the only one out of our group of 8 that chose not to jump off the cliff. And I stand by my decision, but I did get great videos of everybody having their moment.
All that to the travels we've done with Zoe, the camping we've done with Zoe, the road trips with Zoe and Bailey, and now us cruising the Caribbean. I wouldn't have any of that if I said no. Even in my head and people being in their heads, it's better, blah, blah, blah. It's not. you'll just be worse. At least now you'll have the memories that are lasting, the things that make you want to do things. And now I have this everlasting relationship with your family and your kids. I will never leave your kids. I will be here for them if they need me for anything. I will make sure if they want a memory of you or anything like that, that your memory lives on with them. And that's why I said yes. For you, for me, for them.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
I don't need a thank you because of everything that you've done for me. It's just what I need to do for them. Not saying they need me or anything, but just so they know that I'm here for anything.
They do. They need somebody to continue to be a voice of reason. And kids need that forever, even when they're 52. Folks, we're at that time of this podcast. If you're new here, again, thanks for joining us. And if you've heard one or more of our other episodes, you know that the reason that this podcast came to be was over the last 3.5 years, I've thought about all of the people who have left a mark on my life. Mentors, teachers, friends, as far back as the 3rd grade. Yes, I still have my best friend from 3rd grade in my life. I just really needed to be able to say goodbye to people. And I didn't want to wait until that moment when they said, you need to be on hospice and you have a month left, because nobody can think about all the things they want to say. So I spent 3 years writing 74 letters to 74 amazing humans. And Anthony is no different, although I will say this was the letter that I wrote and rewrote. And I went back and wrote some more. And then I scrapped it all and I started back over. And then one day, it was a particularly horrible chemo day where I was throwing up as I was getting chemo. I finally had some time to catch my breath. And as the chemo was dripping through the IV, I put these words on paper. And now, if you will, I'm going to read this. And at the end, Anthony, whenever you feel ready, I just want you to reply. But I'm just going to read the letter. Then we can sit in silence for a moment. And then you can respond in however way you want to respond. Dear buddy, there are a lot of letters I've written in my life, but this one is definitely one of the most difficult to write. We met at the very beginning of the pandemic when the world felt like it was falling apart. Everything was uncertain. Everyone was afraid. And somehow, in the middle of all that fear, you walked into my life and quietly changed everything. I say this without any exaggeration, that you saved me. Not just by standing beside me through the hard days, though you've done that every single time. You saved me by reminding me how to live, how to hope, how to love. And you brought light back into places inside me that at the time I didn't even realize had gone dark. I didn't have any idea then what was coming. I didn't know how hard my body was going to have to fight, and I didn't know how much would change. But I knew that you were the person that I wanted beside me for all of it, and you never once stepped away. You met me with patience when I was exhausted, and you keep me laughing even when I'm scared. And I don't know how you do it, but you calm my mind when my thoughts are racing. With love, even when I didn't even know how to ask it. You never made me feel like a burden. You've never made me feel alone. You definitely make the unbearable survivable. The fact that I'm here today is proof of that. You made all of this heavy bullshit meaningful. And you have made the ordinary in life extraordinary. This June will only be celebrating our second wedding anniversary. And some days that still catches in my chest. I wish that we had found each other decades earlier. I wish that we had been given a lifetime of anniversaries. I wish we had more time to pile memories on top of memories. There's not much more that makes me sadder than that reality. But there's something stronger than that sadness. There is deep peace of knowing that when the universe finally delivered me my one true love, it delivered me the right one. It was you. I got to know for the first time in my life what it feels like to be fully chosen, to be fully seen, and to be deeply understood, to be cherished in ways I didn't even know how to ask for. And I've experienced finally the kind of love people search for their entire lives. And I've found all that with you. Even now, things change. Even as my body grows more tired every day, my heart stays full because of you. Every single day that we have shared has mattered. Every laugh, every quiet morning in bed with the girls, every late night conversation, every small, ordinary moment has truly been a gift. If I could leave you with only one truth, it would be this one, that loving you has been the greatest privilege of my life. Whatever comes next for me, you will always be the man who showed me what real love looks like. You will always be the one who held my hand when the world felt uncertain. And you will always be my home. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for staying. And thank you for loving me the way that you do. I found my forever in you, even if forever turned out to be shorter than I hoped. And even still, that's the most beautiful story I know. with all my love. Me.
I love you.
Ooh.
That was great. Thank you. I love you so
I
much.
love you.
A lot of what you said is exactly the same I feel about you.
All right. Okay, folks. Let's wrap this up for today. I think I am spent.
I think all of us have done enough crying.
Oh my
However,
goodness.
though, before we go, you do need to discuss some merch.
That's a great thing. That'll dry up my tears pretty quickly. Let's do a couple of things. Let's start by thanking everybody who joined us for this episode. Honestly, since we started this podcast, geez, almost 7, 8 months ago now, after 22 or 21 episodes that we've already published, I thank anyone who makes it to the end of an episode for listening. I know that was a very intimate, probably 99.9% of the time, 100% private conversation. But I felt like it was important to share that with everyone because there's a lesson here. And mind you, I don't take lightly that you've given us an hour of your time today. I'm so thankful that you've chosen to spend it with Anthony and I. And if there's one thing that I hope you carry away with after this episode, it's this. Always say the thing, write the letter, always make the phone call. Tell the person you love what they mean to you. We don't get unlimited time, but we do get moments. And moments, when they're intentional, can become a legacy. To my husband, thank you for letting me share our love with the world. To you, the listener, thank you all for creating space for it. Until next time, I want you to all keep loving out loud, keep choosing connection, and keep saying the things that matter. Because in the end, the love story is the story that will always last. Until next time, I'm your host, Kris Saim, and this has been Dying Out Loud.